Hey YouTubers, welcome back to the channel. This is Everyday Finance and I'm your host, Bobby. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch this video. While you're here, if you enjoy this content, be sure to smash that like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you'll get updates on future content and videos similar to what you'll see in today's video. For today's video, we're jumping back into the Prosper app. We're actually going to invest money in the Prosper. We're doing it in $25 increments so that you'll get to see everyone across the spectrum, from those that are extremely creditworthy to those that are considered high risk in their creditworthiness. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay guys, so we're logged in on the Prosper app, and the first thing I have to do is apologize to you guys. I attempted to make an initial video showing $100 being invested in $25 increments. However, I didn't like the quality of that video. It wasn't the best, so I decided to axe that one. And now actually what we have is $175 that we're going to invest. And I'll actually just go over what we invested with the $100, as well as look for 3 new investments with the $75 that's currently available to us. Okay, so looking at the Prosper website right here on the left, you'll see our investment account has a total of $175 total value. Available cash is $75. None is currently pending, and in notes we have $100. Okay. Now notes includes outstanding principal balances corresponding to loans. So basically that's just saying that we spent $100 in allocating loans. All right. So what we'll do is actually, let's go and look at the $100 that we've invested first before we jump in and invest an additional $75. All right, so we'll just click see notes portfolio. All right, now here you'll see where we invested $25 4 times into 4 different loans. Now the ratings on the left coincide with the borrower's creditworthiness. Now AA is the most creditworthy borrower, and HR is the least creditworthy, or a borrower that represents the highest risk. And you'll see that up here near the ratings where it says AA, A, B, C, D, E, and HR. All right, so let's actually go into each one of them in order, starting with the person that was most creditworthy. Now, this particular person, we invested $25 in their account. In their loan. The term of the loan was for 3 years. The purchase date, all of the purchase dates was on January 3rd. Of 2023. Their first payment is not due until the 29th. All right, and the yield is important because the yield is a percentage amount of what we actually invested that we will receive back. So $25 is what we invested. We will receive the $25 back plus 7.5%. That's what the yield represents. Okay, so as you can see, the yield varies, but the less creditworthy the borrower is, the higher the yield, because the risk increases with those borrowers in terms of the likelihood that they will default on these loans. So you have to keep that in mind as well when looking at the borrower information. Okay, so the most creditworthy borrower is giving us 7.5%. The borrower with a B rating in creditworthiness is giving us 13.86%. The borrower with a D credit rating is giving us 21%, and the HR is giving us 29.15. So let's go ahead and just jump and look into the AA borrower here. All right, so here's the original listing information, and this is the information as you would see it when you're initially looking to invest money into these loans. Okay, just looking at the information that's here, it gives you the original loan amount, which is $3,500 at 8.5%. All right, the origination date is when the person actually applied for the loan. They applied for the loan on the 29th of December, 2022, okay? Now this person wants this loan for home improvement purposes. They live in Florida, their rate is 8.5%. Their monthly payment will be $110.49. Now monthly payment is important because monthly payment gives you an indication of whether or not this person will actually have the ability to pay this money back in a timely manner. Investor servicing fee is always going to be 1%. That's standard across the board, regardless of the loan or regardless of the credit worthiness of the borrower. Initial status is F, meaning that it's funded. The amount is 3 years. Your historical return is just, it gives an asterisk here because that's the amount typically that Prosper sees on these loans. All right, as we stated earlier, the Prosper rating is AA, meaning they're most credit worthy. Their FICO score is 660 through 679. Now, one note that I will say is that the Prosper rating that people receives, whether it be AA all the way through HR, is not always indicative of them having the highest credit score, because as you'll see with these loans, someone who Prosper may have considered more of a credit risk actually had a higher credit score than someone that they considered not likely to have risk involved. All right, this person has no delinquencies current, no public records within the last 24 months. They do have 2 delinquencies within the last 7 years. Only 1 inquiry in the last 6 months. Their first credit line is 2012, so about 11 years on their credit. They have 11 open credit lines. Revolving credit balance is about $8,500. Bank card utilization is 60%. We typically want to look at 50% in terms of bank card utilization. The debt to income ratio is 20.18%. They're currently employed, 5 years. They're making between $75,000 and $100,000 as an accountant. All right, now this information is important because it will give you a report card in terms of giving you information into this borrower. Aside from being able to actually have the person in front of you, this gives you information that you can make a calculated decision on whether or not you want to actually help fund their loan. Now, the way that Prosper works, if you guys aren't familiar with it, is that it's more or less, it's a peer-to-peer network where people can lend out their money to other people, the same way that Lending Club did previously. All right, so now there's another tab that's here. It's called Payments, but this person's first payment isn't until the 29th of January, so it's not showing anything there. All right, now going back and looking at our B rating borrower, we'll get additional info here. This person, due date is also on the 29th. The loan amount is $2,000 at 14.86%. They're in Texas. Their monthly payment is $69.19. This is for 3 years at 13.86%. All right, FICO score. As you can see, that FICO range is the same as someone with an AA. So this goes into what I was saying, that someone that is considered a higher credit risk than someone who's AA, who's considered not as high a credit risk, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's a significant difference in their FICO scores or credit scores. No delinquencies, public records within 24 months, 0, no delinquencies within the last 7 years. 7 inquiries within the last 6 months. Their first credit line is 2019, so fairly new in terms of getting credit. 9 open credit lines. Total credit lines is 12. Revolving credit balance about $3,500. Bank card utilization is under 50%. Love that. They do not have a mortgage. Debt to income ratio is 16.78%. They are self-employed. They've been self-employed for about 2.5 years, and they're making between $75,000 and $100,000. Now, looking at this, initially, if you look at the top information in terms of the borrower, you would think that this is someone that's actually more credit worthy than the person that we just went over with an AA Prosper rating. But 2 things to note here that may have shifted them from being AA to B is the amount of inquiries that they've had in the last 7 months. Well, 3 things actually. The inquiries, their first open credit line, as well as the length in terms of how long they've been employed. Well, it's not terrible. Typically anything from 12 to 18 months is okay. You've got a semblance of stability there. But anything under that, you start raising red flags in terms of whether or not that person is actually going to be able to make their payments and stay at that job. All right. So now we're going to take a look at the D borrower here. Okay, now this one is for debt consolidation. This person is in New Mexico. The loan amount significantly higher here, $10,000 at 22%. Now their monthly payment is significantly higher than the previous two that we saw, $381.90. So right around, looking at a little bit under $400. This is for 3 years at 21% yield. Prosper rating is a D. Their FICO credit score, 680 to 699. So higher than all of the ones that we've seen previously. No delinquencies, no public records, 2 delinquencies within the last 7 years, 1 inquiry in the last 6 months. First credit line is 2009. 35 open credit lines, however, and 39 total credit lines. $5,800 in revolving credit. Bank card utilization of 9%. Do not have a mortgage. Debt to income ratio is 40%. A little higher than typically we want. The length, they're currently employed. They've been employed a little bit under 2 years. So they're counting that gray range in terms of employment, and they're making between $50,000 and $75,000 currently. Okay. Let's look at our last or our higher risk borrower here. All right, so this loan is for $3,000 at 30.15%. This is also for debt consolidation. This person is in Virginia. Their monthly payment is $97.34. This is a 29.15% yield. They are considered high risk. Their FICO score is 640 to 659. No current delinquencies, no amount delinquent, no public records. They've 17 delinquencies within the last 7 years. Red flag. Inquiries the last 6 months are 6. Their first credit line is November 1998. 19 open credit lines. Total credit lines is 47. Red flag. Revolving credit balance, $25K. Bank card utilization, 75%. They do have a mortgage. Debt to income ratio, 22.25%. They are employed. They've been employed for 20 years, 11 months. Their income is between $50,000 and $75,000 as a nurse or an LPN by profession. Now, there's a lot that goes into this. First thing I want to tell you is that when looking at these things, you have to really go through this and see what you're comfortable with, because the money that we're lending out, there's a very good chance that we won't see this money back, and the person could default on it. And if you haven't already, go and look at the Prosper video, the initial Prosper video that I did. I want to apologize about the music in there. I ran into an issue with it that I did not find until after it had been uploaded, but there's a lot of good information with regards to Prosper and how you actually can look through this information and make great decisions in terms of the money that you're lending out. But also, it's important to watch that video because it gives information on what happens or what you're likely to receive if someone defaults on the loan or the amount that you put into Prosper to lend to them. And it looks like this. That's what the thumbnail looks like if you guys want to go back and check that video out. Okay, now that we've taken a look at the $100 that we currently have within Prosper, each one of the loans, the yields and information like that, what we want to do is actually go ahead and look at new loans that are out there that we can invest in at this particular time. Now, we're doing this in $25 increments. So what we're going to do is actually go back. So now what we'll do is we'll go down to where it says Browse Loan Listings. Once we click Browse Loan Listings, we'll get a listing of all of the loans that are currently on Prosper right now that have not been completely funded. Now, once they're funded, they're no longer available to you unless you're someone who invested in it. Now, the way the listing works is that it gives the rating, which corresponds to Prosper ID or AA through HR. It gives the listing ID as well as the loan category. It gives the amount of the loan. It gives the yield percentage, the percentage funded, as well as the time left. Now, here on the right, you'll see select. Now, what that does, it gives you the ability, if you're investing into multiple loans, to do so quickly without having to do each individual one. You'll just simply click a check here and just go down and do that to correspond with all of the loans that you'd like to invest in. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually do similar to what we did with the previous $100 that we invested. We're going to choose a multitude of different loans here. Loans that show different representations of creditworthiness as well as borrower information, so that you're able to look at this information and you're able to get a good scope of what it is that you may see if you decide to invest and prosper. So the first thing we'll do is we'll go and we'll create filters, and we'll filter by rating. All right. And we'll actually start with AA here, right? And we'll just look at this. As you can see, even amongst the same rating, the yield amount varies as well. We've got yield amounts that go from 5.3% all the way up to 10.8%. And that will vary based on the loan amount as well. As you can see, the loan amounts go from as small as $6,500 all the way up to, is it 50 or 60? 50K here for home improvement. All right, so now I want to take a look at the 15K home improvement. All right, this person lives in Hawaii, okay. Their monthly payment would be $690.24 on a 15K loan, 2 years at 8.7% yield. It's 52% funded, $7,100 left in terms of funding. All right, this person has an AA Prosper rating. Their FICO score is 740 to 749. No delinquencies, no amount delinquent, no public records. Only one delinquency within the last 7 years. Their first credit line was in 1978. Wow, over 40 years ago. Current open credit lines is 14 of 24. Revolving credit balances, $70,467. Bank card utilization is right at 50%. They do have a mortgage, and debt to income ratio is 34.94%. Employment status is other. They've been employed for 47 years and 3 months. Oh, perfect. They aren't going anywhere. More than likely, this person is going to retire soon. Their stated income is over 100K. Wow, and they're only looking for 15K here. You know what? We'll go ahead and we'll actually add this one to cart here. What I like to do is also tell you guys the reason why I'm comfortable and okay with this one. One, the amount, 15K. It's a significant amount of money, and typically more than I like to lend out or be involved in, because I like to have the money back like immediately. So what I mean by that is this is typically I stay under the 5K range, because people typically do not have problems in terms of paying that money back, and probably will pay more in terms of their monthly payment in order to just get rid of that loan after a while. But with this one, I'm okay for 2 reasons. One, because their first credit line was in 1978, and also because they've been employed for over 47 years and their income is over 100K. Now, what does give me a little fear here is that bank card utilization being right at 50% and that revolving credit balance being almost 71K. The reason why is because in my eyes, I look at the bank card utilization at 50% as being someone that knows exactly where they have to have their numbers be in order to qualify for additional credit or loans and things of that nature. So what that says to me is that they're making minimal payments, just given the sheer amounts that they are carrying right now in terms of credit balances. Now, this may not be the case, but a lot of times when you look at this information, you have to formulate in your head what's going on, because it's your money that you're lending out. So we'll go ahead and do this one. We'll give them $25 and we'll add that to cart. So we'll click out of that. What I'll do is I'll go down here. As you can see, this is selected. Now we'll go back to filters and we'll click out of AA and we'll do a C. Now we already have an AA, we have a B, we have a D and an HR. So what we'll do, we just did an AA, we'll do a C and an E. All right, so let's click on C there. All right, now we're looking at C. Now this is my range here, 2,000, 3,500. That I'm okay with. Even if we lose, you just want to make the most informed decision that you can with your money. other loan out there for $17,000. That's 87% funded. Let's take a look here. All right, this person is in North Carolina. Their payment would be $409.53, $17,000 over 5 years. FICO is 680 to 699. No delinquencies or amount delinquent. No public records. 7 delinquencies in the last 7 years. No inquiries. First credit line is in March 91. 13 credit lines, 57 total credit lines. Revolving credit balance, $7,700. Bank card utilization, 96%. Debt to income ratio is 16.2%. They are retired. They've been retired for 4 years. They make between $75,000 and $100,000. Not bad, okay. This is not bad at all. One thing that jumps out to me when reviewing this is that the person is retired. Now, retired means stable to me. And the reason why that means to me is that it's fixed income. No matter what it is that this person does, they're going to be paid this fixed amount, either every month or however their income is set up to be received. Now, something that does give me a bit of worry is the bank card utilization at 96%. As well as 57 total credit lines in general. But when someone has their first credit line at 91, given that period of time, there are going to be a lot of total credit lines versus open. So with the delinquencies not being as high, I feel okay investing in this one. And we'll go ahead and do so here and click add to cart. Okay, so now what we'll do for the last one, let's go back. And let's do an E. We're going to filter by E. And also, every time that we click on these loans, as you can see right here at the top right-hand corner, it says go to order 2 selected. It just lets you know that you've got 2 loans selected that you want to invest money in. All right, now, E, we've got a lot of different loans here. Large purchase, debt consolidation, home improvement. They vary in terms of amount from $2,000 all the way to $20,000. The yields on these loans are extremely high. We're looking at an average of about 23% all the way up to 28%. Look at the $6,000 here. This person is in Illinois. 29% is their rate. The monthly payment will be $251.47. This is for 3 years. It is 53% funded. They have a FICO score from a 700 to a 719. No delinquencies or amount delinquent. No public records. 2 delinquencies within the last 7 years. No inquiries in the last 6 months. First credit line was in April of 2018. 13 current open credit lines. 14 open credit lines. 16 total credit lines. $3,400 in revolving credit balances. 22% bank card utilization. They do not have a mortgage. 53.69 debt to income ratio. Self-employed. They've been self-employed for 22 years and they're making between $25,000 and $50,000 in construction. I'm okay with this one. Totally okay with this one. What gives me ease on this one is their FICO score, no delinquencies, no public records there, and they're doing okay in terms of the revolving balances that they have. So I'll just go ahead and hit 25 here for this one and add to cart. All right, now we're all good. We've placed an order on 3 loans here on Prosper. Here is where you can see the allocation of all the loans that we're currently invested in. Now, the AA is larger because we actually have 2 AA loans that we're currently invested in. We have a B, a C, a D, a E, and an H. All right, now all of these loans are current, meaning that these people have not missed any payments. Now, that's true because with our first initial investment of $100 being split into 4 $25 increments, the first payments have not come up yet. They will not come up until the end of January. So that's why all these are still being shown as current. Now, we do not have any return information. We will not get that until after the first payment is made. There you have it, guys, the Prosper app. A little bit more information in terms of investing. If you guys have any questions with regards to anything that we covered today, or any questions that you may run into when attempting to invest, leave it within the comments and I'll be sure to get back with you guys and try to get an answer to you as soon as possible. What I'll also do is in a future video, once the payments have been made on our investments. I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys those and exactly what the information looks like, both on the desktop as well as the mobile application. I hope this information has been educational for you and it's been beneficial for you and your families. Hopefully Prosper is another way to add residual income to your existing portfolio, or if you're looking to start investing as well. And now guys, if you've enjoyed this content, be sure to smash that like, subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you'll get updates on future videos and content similar to what you saw in today's video. And we're gonna do a lot more investing when it comes to the Prosper app, so be on the lookout for that, guys. And as always, there is no goal that is unobtainable when you apply everyday finance. I'll see you guys in the next video.